The series Conjuring Kesha on Discovery Plus immediately caught my attention, and not just because all of the alliteration it allowed me to access. It's actually the second docuseries to come out this year following a pop star as they explore paranormal locations, with this one just being a few months after Unidentified with Demi Lovato. It's fascinating how our current culture of binge watching has allowed for this type of content to pop up on television. I'm sorry, pop up on streaming services, which is like television, except somehow nobody has to watch the show for it to be profitable. It's actually the same business model I use for my free online accounting seminar, because it's also a credit card scam. But do you know what's completely legit? All of the paranormal investigations that Kesha conjures with her famous friends, such as real scientific research tools that don't prove anything, authentic fear and anxiety from our celebrity host who literally can't even right now, and the Catholic paranormal investigator who lets us know that we've been tricked by a demon disguising itself as a transgender ghost. I love when I don't even have to embellish a sentence for it to sound ridiculous. My hand gestures should be ridiculous enough on their own. So let's dive in and gatekeep some demons on an alliterative episode of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web, and we break it down like the psyche of a prisoner that died long ago. We went there right away with this one because once again, we are messing with dark magic with somebody who is always played on my iPod named Kesha. This is just so similar to Unidentified with Demi Lovato. It's too good not to talk about. But before we do talk about it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see me cover more paranormal investigation. I know I got recommendations last time, and this time I'll also write them down again. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I do upload 2 every week, which is like sort of a lot. I'm just kidding, but go ahead and click subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to know the first time my ESP senses are tingling because there's a ghost in your laundry chute, and her name is Nicholas. I gave my dog a particularly type of flavored bone. I'm not gonna talk about it. Okay, so the unique aspect of Demi Lovato's Unidentified show was that they were traveling cross country in a camper, or at least that's what the show made it look like. With Kesha, she's also traveling around the country to different locations, but they do have sort of a stronger, like in Kesha's production team, they got more interesting B-roll within the locations that they went to. There's use of drone, there's lots of colored lighting, which is great. Like they probably brought in those like transportable LED lights that change colors. They really show up on a lot of the digital cameras that are used in productions like this.
Greetings, Earthlings. Kesha here. When I'm not on stage, I'm exploring my connection to the supernatural.
Well, then I see why she's the host of this show. That makes her the perfect person to take on this responsibility of choosing the stickers that go on that little video camera they gave her. So far, it seems like all of these paranormal shows start with the pop star explaining that they've always had an interest in the paranormal, specifically since podcasts became a thing. Nikki D here. I was 7 years old when I had my first paranormal encounter. I saw the ghost of my grandmother. She was still alive, but it was my first time seeing her without lipstick on, so it really freaked me out. I'm just kidding. My Nana was gorgeous, even without any cosmetics. So as you can see from that intro, there was a more detailed production altogether. They got B-roll of Kesha, like walking in different hallways with and they, you know, have this cool use of stock footage, like they did an overlay of that confetti over some slow motion stock footage of her to make a nice looking composite representing some concert, which by the way, I wish we could see more Kesha in the mainstream, but I feel like the music industry has basically silenced her ever since she spoke out against her assault by music producer Dr. Luke, who still gets to work today. He's also not a doctor. It's like you make garage band songs. So anyway, speaking of Kesha, who I'm so glad that she has this platform to explore her stuff artistically, at least on television in some medium. She deserves the stage. She's such a star. And I like that they get so much cool content with her throughout this season. Like we see her wearing like a cowboy outfit, or just like a rancher's hat rather. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's really nice. And I have watched the other episodes and I feel like they really took a lot lot of time to establish her in the location she was at. And I do like that she switches up the guests with every episode. Like, she has different people all the time. I don't always know who they are, but it's like variety. So that's a good differentiator between this and Unidentified with Demi Lovato. Let's see where we're at today.
So it closed like 12 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
I know, because it was too f***ed up.
Well, don't worry. It was enough time for the prison industrial complex to completely renovate itself by now. At least that's what our government tells us, and they're the experts at earning the highest profit per innocent black person for the last 10,000 years, or however many long ago Jesus wrote the Constitution. So as you see, our guest today is Whitney Cummings, who I always loved when I saw her on Chelsea Lately as a teen. But first, let's get some background on this prison.
Prison itself was actually built by the prisoners in 1896 in the shape of an upside-down crucifix.
Well, thank God it's a right-side-up crucifix to any southern-facing demons. That's probably the only thing holding the Antichrist back. Maybe that's why the apocalypse is taking so goddamn long. The Antichrist is somewhere like, I'm not powerful enough to make this hell on earth for everyone yet, so women and minorities, you're first. We did it, Joe. So Kesha is fully sitting in a ring of electric LED candles, and I love it. She's like even sacrificing little baby lambs, I think. No, I'm just kidding. She's like touching a Ouija board. She's really into the crystally feely part of it, but I soon discover she takes this stuff very seriously.
Or maybe they're still a little bit scared.
Wait, what happened?
This wrist hurts, like someone was like holding it or pulling on it.
Well, maybe don't stand right in front of the entrance. You're blocking a very high traffic area for prison spirits. They're not known for using the magic word. Skeptics might not believe that Whitney Cummings was actually just manhandled by a demon, but that's only because demons are both invisible and fictional. Trust me, if you had your magic vision goggles, you would have seen that demon was just like... That's me getting run over by one of those Uber Eats sidewalk robots. It was mostly my fault for trying to steal the jalapeno poppers out of it. One trademark of both of these shows that I'm sort of comparing informally today, you meet with the location owner. I guess they're the best person to talk about it. But first we meet Debbie, who tells us some hilarious stories about her time as a correctionals officer here.
Blood was splattering all the way down the highway, beaten to death by his cellmate. We had to clean his brains up off the floor. I used a sense of humor to get through a lot.
Well, don't waste all your best material on us, Deb. He had been gutted and dragged down the hallway by his intestines like a fishing line. So I said, hey, this is a catch and release prison. And that really helped lighten the mood for all of the survivors. Suffice to say, 10,000 people were murdered within the walls of this prison, which is absolutely horrifying. I think that's where a lot of the supposed haunted energy comes from here. I just want to say I've watched a lot of these shows in my lifetime, and a lot of them have focused on prisons, and there have been some that truly chilled me. Like, there was one where there's a murder on a concrete floor, and the blood stain keeps coming back up through the paint. It's crazy. It scares me. They don't have any such, like, evidence like that here that we get to hear, so I want that. Debbie speculates that there's signs that there's both ghost activity and demon activity, and I'm just like, stop acting like there's a discernible difference. Like, it's all just stuff moving, noise rattling. But it's still, just the idea of demons makes it a little too much for Kesha, who was not expecting this somehow.
Y'all are gonna be like, go in there and sit there by yourself and like sleep there. And I'll probably do it because I'm not a but I am terrified of that part.
Well, would it help if we reminded you that nothing on TV is real? And I'm not trying to disprove ghosts. I'm saying you can just pretend to have slept inside this place by recording some footage of you unrolling a sleeping bag and getting inside of it all scared, and then staging 5 minutes of you freaking out throughout the night. And we'll put a little clock timer down here to show like you're up and scared all night. I think the entire crew was probably hoping to get back to the Marriott by 10 p.m. No one's gonna blame her. If I agreed to do a paranormal show on Discovery Channel, I would expect it to be like haunted bed and breakfasts within the French Quarter. And then you get there and it's like, ooh, noisy water heater sometimes. Not sleeping in a condemned building with human shit on the walls. Like one of those girls who's competing on The Bachelor. She could have just not mentioned ever like having the pressure to sleep there. I don't know why anybody like even made that something like known that they wanted her to do. Is she talking to the producers there? Like, I know you guys want me to do this. Or is she talking to the fans at home and she expects like us to want that. Maybe it's because she said in the past that's something she's done. I don't know. Let me know, maniacs, in the comments. Is that still what she calls her fans? Rainbows now? I don't know. Sorry. I love Kesha. So next we meet the actual owners of the building, two sisters who inherited it as part of their family.
Two sisters that were relatives to the man that owned this prison know a little more about the demon thing. Jamie. And I'm Courtney.
Oh, hi ladies. We haven't seen you since you were scaring Danny Torrance in the hallway of the Overlook Hotel. Feel old yet? This is the Grady twins. I explained the joke. I explained the joke. So the sisters here explain some stories that have happened, such as people rolling their eyes back and seemingly having an episode.
We've seen apparitions, shadow figures, we've been touched, things slam. We were getting a lot of growls.
That's gay people at a circuit party trying to retrace their steps. Like, okay, Brian, none of that helps us figure out where you put your iPhone down, so deal with this on your own. By the way, if you're scared, you can cuddle the mug can plushie, a limited edition item in my merch store. Pre-order it now for $29. I believe it ships in December if we hit our goal. I'm sorry if I miscommunicated that. I did not realize I had the wrong information that I made up, but that's the case, and I'm excited. We're almost a third of the way to the goal by the time I record this, so thank you so much for supporting our new huggable, squeezable friend. My dog is really going in on that bone. Kesha is really going in on her rising fear about the dark side.
I'm a spiritual explorer. It's all very whimsical and light and magical and existential, but like this does not feel magical.
Well, then that's on those unscrupulous TV producers who misled you to believe that this prison of 10,000 murders would be a place of magic and whimsy. It's not one of those pop-up museums for taking cool selfies. It's possible that Kesha is just trying to be good television by playing up this kind of authentic looking sense of hesitation about the whole thing. But it's kind of just leading me to wonder, like, does she really want this job? If she wanted to take a step back, I'm pretty sure it would take just a couple rewrites to switch some roles around. Retitle it Witnessed by Whitney Cummings. Because right now Whitney's she's been acting like she got pulled on since they walked up to the sidewalk. So she's all over this place like asbestos.
Okay, there's activity up here, so somebody needs to go.
I'll do it.
No, Whitney, I'll do it. You stay here and touch up your roots. And I'm not just being a bully here, okay? If some of these spirit prisoners see her pink, brown, and pale color story, they'll think it's Neapolitan ice cream night in the commissary. They'll scoop her into a bowl. You know, maybe I'm overthinking it, and all of this uptick in the spooky content is just because the summer is winding down, and that means Halloween. But more importantly, a lot of people are going to have much more busy weeknights coming up. I know that's true for me as a new parent of a dog. I don't often have a lot of time to go grocery shopping, and the sponsor of today's video, Every Plate, helps me often skip an entire trip that week. I've been using it for over a year. I'm always impressed with how it's high quality ingredients for a much better value than all of these other meal kits that I used to waste my money on. So I'm not joking when I tell you this is one of my favorite money saving hacks. So treat yourself to better weeknight meals like this. Okay, this was so good. Melted Mott's tomato jam and zucchini panini. It was as fun to eat as it is to say. Feels good in your mouth both ways. Get your first box for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code DiRamio149. Now that we've conjured up a meal for ourselves, we can dive back into the cauldron of Kesha's desire. No, Kesha's having none of this though. She's already experiencing physical symptoms of discomfort. I'm like, maybe don't, it sounds like they just had her sit in there while they were setting up these backlights with the red gels. They should have let her hang out in the hotel until it was like time to shoot this.
The creeper's on his belly.
No.
We used an SLS camera in here one time and it came out into the floor and then it went up the wall.
Wow, so it must have been the same creeper we saw who was similarly web slinging in that gold mining town we saw Demi Lovato exploring on their show. That was on Peacock, Paranormal with Peacock. I love how these demon hunters can all be so specific about mythological creatures, but then nobody wants to sit and explain to me what a structured light is. They'll be like, you see, dark energy tends to collect in the perimeter of a cursed location, but your fear only gives them power, and only those with a strong inner light can ever drive them out. Like, really? Or could it just be that the low-level balls of light bouncing all around those corners over there have a little bit more structure. By the way, I googled structured light sensing, and it's something that enables 3D image applications to achieve extremely high accuracy. Accurate structured light technology is behind the user face recognition being implemented in smartphones. Same technology in your Face ID, and that lets you apply a Snapchat filter that looks like you have mascara on. Why wouldn't that same technology be capable of just like latching onto surfaces like when you point it at a corner, especially if it's not specifically designed to detect faces? These owners start to explain some of the freaky things that have happened to people on tours that they've brought through, and that's when I realized why these shows exist. Like, anyone who owns a property like this, like in their family in this case, it's very profitable to just tell scary stories about its history and allow amateur sleuthers with night vision goggles to come through and get scared. You don't need much electricity, you don't need to turn on the plumbing, and you barely need to sweep, because if someone trips, you can just be like, that was a ghost that pushed you. Oh my, you're so lucky. But they say someone got possessed by rolling his eyes back, and then he was like, what happened? So Kesha is like, I don't want to get possessed. That's a top priority.
I just started getting really sharp pains in my stomach, and I have a headache. And my instincts were saying, get out of this room.
That's me telling my Macy's shift manager why I went home early at lunch last week. Like Kesha said, I had a headache and my stomach felt really gross, so my bodily instincts were telling me to stop working. They were the same bodily instincts that told me to have chicken wings and 3 margaritas for lunch, but I'm just trying to listen to my body. And besides, I think our founder, R.H. Macy, would applaud that spirit, because it was normal to drink during work back then, I think. I can't help but think that Kesha feels like she's disappointing us by not spending the night in this prison, and I'm like, I wouldn't either, not for a show. I think there was a point, like there were all these reality shows at one point where it's like, spend the night in a haunted place, and everyone had these cameras attached to their faces. It was all kind of nonsense. Just go back in the morning, we're good.
Okay, I'm making the executive decision to be done for the day. I have the keys, but I'm done.
It's a very good call.
See you tomorrow.
Mama, you'll be lucky if you see me after this first commercial break. She said, all right, everybody, so today we've walked around an empty building, heard some creepy secondhand anecdotes, and felt a slightly more than average level of anxiety. So as the host of this show, I've determined this location to be a threat to our mortal souls. Are you sneezing, my love? Good girl. So the next morning, we have Kesha back at the location bright and early.
Didn't really want to come back here because I feel like the energy is weirdly ominous. I called for backup, a Catholic demonologist coming in to help us.
Wow, a real demonologist. That must be why you had no budget left over for a union makeup artist. For a moment, I thought you ended up sleeping in the haunted house after all. I'm just kidding, because to be fair, and I love this, Kesha's brand has always been to have makeup looks that were slightly rough around the edges. It was very liberating. I'm the same way, but with the exterior panels of my car. Thanks a lot to the mailbox poles that are made of cement. They should all be breakaway plywood like in an action movie. Today, Kesha's really thought about her part in this whole paranormal world and what aspects of it she's willing to accept.
Like, I'm into the supernatural. I love a little friendly, spooky moment. It's cute, but I don't really want to fuck with a demon. I don't want to do something that I don't know how to undo.
A friendly, spooky moment. Again, she was told that she was visiting a modern-day torture facility, and somehow Kesha pictured herself on the cover of the VHS for Casper Meets Wendy. She's like, I was like ready to bob for apples and dance to Monster Mash. Well, they need you to perpetuate a bunch of ghost-based reasons why the guards here seem to be so bad at stopping the inmates from killing each other. Once again, Whitney is leading the charge in terms of confidence heading into this place.
He's a demonologist. I also have some questions about some of my exes that I'd like to ask.
Okay, let's
No
go
jokes today.
No super funny jokes, at least. Not yet. I mean, I'm still waiting. I can't speak for the taste level of the rest of this show's audience, since they probably watch stuff like this already, and therefore believe in ghosts. I don't not believe in ghosts, I just don't believe in like super specific ghosts, usually. What do I know? Anyway, they get this demonologist in here, and he freaks Kesha out even more. He's like, once you ask a demon a question and they answer, that's inviting a demon into your life, and they're gonna wait your entire life to try to take over your soul when you're at your weakest. That must mean my demon is the smell of waffle cones when you walk past a Cold Stone Creamery, because that is my weak spot. That's when I get a little devilish myself. I'm a little demon, a little dairy demon. Let's hear what the Catholic demonologist has to say.
Do you think people are good?
No, the human nature is negative. It is so easy to be evil. It's very hard to live a good and pure life.
Ew, I can taste my shame-based religious upbringing on every word that he says. Catholics believe that we are born with inherent vices, which would be like, I suppose, what? I'm going to hell because my brain is gonna get addicted to cigarettes? I didn't invent cigarettes. Talk to God about it. He's the one who gave me this brain. We're also, as humans, disproportionately concerned with our own pleasure, power, and wealth. Yeah, but disproportionate to who? Some old white guy in an Italian castle? Sorry, I don't take orders from Dracula, so premarital sex is on the menu. Life's a banquet, and most poor bastards are starving. So let's see what this demon expert has brought in order to detect the scary stuff.
A palm. If we put this down in an area that possibly has a negative entity, it may not be too happy about it and could manipulate it.
Wow, he really knows what he's doing. If there's one thing I remember about learning the scientific method in high school, it's that you want to find a system of measurement that can be completely skewed by the slightest summer breeze. Thank you, Father Nobody, for bringing your magic leaf. But just in case, do you have any other more concrete devices we can put our trust in?
I have a bell that my priest gave me. It's been told to me that this bell summons angels, and it's gonna hang down. And if something moves it or manipulates it, we'll know.
Okay, it seems like a lot of your devices for angel and demon detection were thought up by somebody who forgot that sometimes air can move. The fact that this bell was given to you by a priest does nothing to elevate this idea past what a 12-year-old would think to do if we asked them to catch a ghost. The priest who gave him that was probably watching this episode like, that was actually a decorative bell from my wife who wanted you to put it on your piano. But cool that you got to meet Kesha, I guess. But he's not done. This one we've actually seen before. The little creepy music box. Demi's team had that as well.
Also, motion sensor. And if something passes in front of it, it'll play a nice little tune.
That's the Paranormal Music Box by Paraforce, as seen on Ghost Adventures. You can find that on Amazon, or at least a listing for it. It's a toy. It's a toy. But just hearing that there could be demons afoot makes Kesha panic.
No! No. I'm scared. Can I leave yet?
We are halfway through the first episode, sis. This is probably when the camera crew is like, what's everyone working on after this? Because we're not getting a second season. Not only because this all sucks, but also because it seems like our celebrity host feels like she's actually in danger on this union TV shoot with the safety coordinator. The REM pod goes off while they're all getting ready, and this really freaks out Kesha. And the bell seems to be moving a tiny bit, so that's when they send Whitney down, as we saw towards the beginning. I'm just like, Kesha, you really don't want to go? It's literally walking into a room.
I'm not one to shy away from scary things.
That probably sounded more convincing when you pitched this show to the Discovery Channel. The footage shows otherwise, though. She's shying away from scary things that some people don't even think are scary, just like stories that make her feel sad. Whitney even said in her interview that Kesha is a very sensitive, gentle soul. It's like, it's very clear. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. She might just be very extra sensory and it's all very stimulating for her. I don't know the whole metaverse, whatever, but it is a little weird to watch it be her show. We are now 2/3 of the way in, and like every good third act, this ghost story has a very unexpected twist.
Okay, I got it. Are you a transgender woman? I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Whitney just clocked a transgender ghost on television. Discovery said, we're proud to be improving visibility for trans people on television. Like this one, Ghosty McNoone here. Unfortunately, half of the TV viewing audience can't evolve their views on gender past bathroom signage. Maybe one day they'll have the fortune of getting to realize there's a trans person in their lives, and then hopefully their views will change. And if not, there's always heart disease, whichever comes first. I guess Whitney somehow got this intuition that the ghost was a transgender woman who had lived and or died in this prison, and she's really emotional about it. It seems like these girls had like a cup of coffee before this night shoot or something, because they are really in it.
All the people here that were brutally treated, a woman trapped in a man's body. It's the only thing I can think of that could possibly be more horrifying.
Okay, now Whitney's ranking the tragic backstories of the people's lives based on how horrifying their deaths were. Whitney, we get it. I'm sure someone from the trans community is going to mail you your Woke Ally Award within 6 to 8 weeks. Let's not make it too heavy-handed. It's what a buzzing noise. Okay. That's when Dave, I think his name is, lets her know that that might have been the demon saying exactly what the demon knew would be Whitney's like soft spot because she cares so much about that. So they're not sure what to believe.
I got really comfortable in there. I felt like it was a nice little cute guy, ghost.
Yeah,
lady.
which I feel like
I just misgendered a ghost.
canceled.
Damn it.
No, sweetie, you're fine. It's a show that's canceled. Also, if we really want to unpack it, I don't think that Catholic guy saying that the trans ghost was actually a demon who was pretending to be trans to get inside a woman's body is really the symbolism we want to be running with right now. Kesha and Whitney go to see the ghost bell that moved slightly, but not enough to ring. So hopefully we can move the storyline past the ghost's identity as a trans woman.
Is my transgender friend here?
Okay, they bust out that good old structured light camera, which you can, like, I don't know what it's doing if not detecting surfaces, which is what it seems to be doing every time you point it at a corner. And people are like, that looks like the like scary guy from The Further, you know, like, I don't know. You know that ghost? You know that ghost? You know that ghost from the movie? What is it called? Insidious. It's too much for Kesha when she sees it. She runs out of there. She's like throwing off her mic, like she's done.
I'm not going back in there. I don't need to interact with darkness.
I mean, you sort of do need to, only if you want the show to live up to the tone that was advertised. But yes, legally, I don't think you would be required to make good television as part of the agreement you signed. I sound like that YouTube lawyer. I don't know who I'm talking about, but they exist. The videos, the legal videos. Whitney gets word that Kesha bailed.
That didn't scare the shit out of you?
It did, but I wanted the truth more than I was scared.
Okay, I was joking before, but Kesha, your friend is trying to come for your gig. That's the kind of stuff I would expect you to be saying on your ghost show. Anyway, I guess we're done shooting now, so can we get the expert ghost guy to justify this?
There's nothing in this place that's worth any one of our souls.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even anything in this place worth putting on TV as far as we could see, so I don't find that hard to believe. But Kesha feels like her intuition was strong enough to tell her that this was a complete story arc. So she walks off into the neon sunset, and we'll just have to catch her in the next location.
Facing hard things makes that moment when the sun starts peeking through the darkness even sweeter.
So true. I'm very glad we had this cinematic B-roll and Kesha's poetry to sort of put a button on this, but that's probably not enough of a cliffhanger to make me free up any more space on my DVR for this one. We didn't even get an answer about that potential demon slash transgender ghost. They don't even want to put up a link to her ghost fund me. Maybe that's something for the next episode, but I feel like she's gonna have a different friend and we're gonna move on to a different location. So Kesha, please conjure me something more interesting to watch on Discovery Plus, or I guess that's on Discovery Plus for saying, let's just make all these shows. Anyway, let me know if you've seen this show. Are there any better episodes to check out or other ghost hunting paranormal exploration shows that we should cover here on Clip Breakdown? But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when we're catching something made of structured light. Also, I've got merch like my limited edition plushie, which you can pre-order below, and a Patreon with exclusive content. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for conjuring Kesha with me today. I will see you next time.